Harrison Butker of the Kansas City Chiefs just gave a commencement speech at Benedictine College. I was ranting a week ago about how modern university commencement speeches are generally terrible and how comedian speeches are generally the worst of all of them. And I was surprised that Jerry Seinfeld, no knock on Seinfeld, but I was just surprised given the type of speech it was, that he gave a good speech. Well, now we have, without question, the greatest example of a university commencement speech in my lifetime. This guy, Harrison Butker, is one of the most articulate, insightful people in public life. And I know he kicks a football for a living, but compared to the speeches of congressmen, senators, governors, presidents, intellectuals, academics, all this guy gave, it was a tour de force. It was the best commencement speech I have ever heard that was delivered during my. I'm trying to think of an exception. Probably 100 years ago, there were better commencement speeches, or at least as. But I actually don't know. It was that good. Without further ado, Mr. Butker, take it away.
As members of the church founded by Jesus Christ, it is our duty and ultimately privilege to be authentically and unapologetically Catholic. Don't be mistaken. Even within the church, people in polite Catholic circles will try to persuade you to remain silent. There even was an award-winning film called Silence, made by a fellow Catholic, wherein one of the main characters, a Jesuit priest, abandoned the church and as an apostate, when he died, is seen grasping a crucifix, quiet and unknown to anyone but God. As a friend of Benedictine College, His Excellency Bishop Robert Barron said in his review of the film, it was exactly what the cultural elite want to see in Christianity: private, hidden away, and harmless. Our Catholic faith has always been countercultural. Our Lord, along with countless followers, were all put to death for their adherence to her teachings. The world around us says that we should keep our beliefs to ourselves whenever they go against the tyranny of diversity, equity, and inclusion. Congress just passed a bill where stating something as basic as the biblical teaching of who killed Jesus could land you in jail.
It goes on, and I've had to just pick small moments because the speech goes on for 20 minutes. This is so spot on the money. He's not just saying, he's obviously at a Catholic college here at Benedictine, so he's tailoring his remarks even more specifically in Catholic language. And it would appear that Mr. Butker is, like me, an attendee of the traditional Latin Mass and, holds the views that tend to go along with that. Butker comes out here and he says, when Catholicism, when the faith appears in the culture, what does the culture want? They want us to be quiet. They want it to all be private. Do you remember, this was a subtle change of language, when freedom of religion became freedom of worship? Those politicians used to talk about religious freedom. They don't really talk about that so much anymore. Now they talk about freedom of worship. Why? Because religious freedom, it has more public connotations to it. Freedom to worship, that's something you can just kind of do in your head, in your home, not in public, not for anybody to see. No one, it doesn't affect anybody else. It does, you wouldn't even know. You just, and Butker says, no, we're called to public life, and we're called to public professions of our faith. And that's gonna be countercultural. It's always been countercultural. It's been countercultural since ancient Rome. And the political forces, they're going to try to silence us, like that law that the Congress that the Republicans in Congress tried to pass a week or two ago, which would have amended Title VI to ban quoting parts of the New Testament, to ban quoting facts from the gospel. Totally crazy stuff. You say, how could this happen? Well, Butker says, because the culture has always been against the true faith. Because this world is governed by principalities and powers and spiritual wickedness in high places. Right now, go to Genucel.com/Knowles, letter Y, letter T. As many of you know, it is Genucel's 25-year anniversary. Right now, our listeners will get an extra 25% off their already fabulous prices, making this the biggest Genucel sale ever. Genucel is offering an extra 25% off in honor of this anniversary. This makes the already fabulous Mother's Day sale their biggest sale ever. If you have not tried Genucel, a great place to start is with their most popular package. This features their Gen 90 serum, which instantly erases wrinkles around the eyes, forehead, and mouth. It also includes their top-selling under eye bags and puffiness serum, as well as their jawline treatment for a more contoured, defined jawline. Genucel is so confident in their product that they guarantee you will see results in less than 12 hours, or you will get your money back. For a limited time, get an extra 25% off for Genucel's anniversary. The discount is automatically applied at checkout. Once this sale is gone, it's gone. Order yours right now. You know I love this company, founded by a Coptic Christian from Egypt who left Egypt for the American dream. Absolutely top shelf quality products. Go to genucel.com/Knowles, letter Y, letter T. To sweeten the deal even more, you'll get a free spa box with 2 bonus gifts and free shipping. Genucel.com/Knowles, letter Y, letter T. Then he goes on. That isn't even the part that went viral. I thought this was all good. To me, the most interesting part was when he's speaking about the faith and the implications of the faith in public life. But the part that went viral is when Harrison Butker is talking about the main thing that goes viral these days, namely the relationship between men and women.
I think it is you, the women, who have had the most diabolical lies told to you. How many of you are sitting here now, about to cross this stage, and are thinking about all the promotions and titles you are going to get in your career? Some of you may go on to lead successful careers in the world, but I would venture to guess that the majority of you are most excited about your marriage and the children you will bring into this world. I can tell you that my beautiful wife, Isabel, would be the first to say that her life truly started when she began living her vocation as a wife and as a mother. I'm on this stage today and able to be the man I am because I have a wife who leans into her vocation. I'm beyond blessed with the many talents God has given me, but it cannot be overstated that all of my success is made possible because a girl I met in band class back in middle school would convert to the faith, become my wife, and embrace one of the most important titles of all, homemaker.
The man here is on the verge of tears, pouring out an expression of love for his wife. And the libs and the feminists are accusing him of misogyny for saying that he loves his wife and she excels in her role as a homemaker and a mother and a wife. The parallel here is really even stranger because I too, Elisa and I don't quite remember all of the details, but we either met in 6th grade homeroom or in 5th grade district orchestra. And he says, I met in middle school band. So even that, Harrison Butker and I were basically the same guy, except of course that he's an extremely successful NFL player and I have a podcast. But other than that, other than he's a really top athlete and I pretty much couldn't hit the ball in T-ball. Other than that, he and I pretty much, you look and say, who's the real one? Who do I shoot? Which is basically indistinguishable. But in that matter, really, we do have a great similarity. And he gets choked up with it because he says, I couldn't do what I do. I couldn't be the man that I am without my wife. That's not flattery. That's absolutely true. If I had to spend all of my time raising my children, keeping my home, managing the private life of the family, the basic building block of politics. If I had to, cook the meals, clean everything, educate my children in the sense of, the actual nuts and bolts of teaching and nurturing your children day in and day out, I wouldn't have 1 minute to do this show. It's not possible. I know we live in modern life where we're told that, if a man doesn't wash exactly 50% of the dishes, he's a misogynist or something, but that's totally nonsense. Men and women are different. We're drawn to different things. And I sometimes think, if I didn't have a wife and children, I'd be so much more productive. And then I think, oh no, actually I wouldn't. I would be lying on the couch watching a baseball game, eating potato chips, probably. That's what I'd be doing. Or I'd be out, carousing at a bar or something like that. Of course not. It's your wife civilizes you. And you, one hopes, tame your wife, or at least provide some leadership to your wife. It's not just a one-way street that you are just purely the recipient of all the wonderful adornments of married life from your wife. One hopes that the man contributes something too, and the two grow together because we become one flesh, and the whole is greater than the parts. Absolutely right. And for that, he's being called a sexist, which proves the first part of his speech, which is if you state basic truths in a fallen world, in a world that has gone mad, that is subject not totally to reason, but also to concupiscence and vice and disordered desires, then if you speak the truth, people are going to pillory you for it. And he's experiencing that right now. People are pillorying him for it. But that's all the more reason to watch his speech and take it seriously. That was a great clip. And if you want more, you got to ring the bell. See you next time.